Sungrass Press's Future.Shock is a forged-in-the-dark RPG set in the far future of humanity that has ended scarcity along with nations, sexual reproduction, and death itself. Author Colette Andine's depiction of our solar system is steeped in an ideology less interested in violent conflicts between titanic machines, political or otherwise, and more invested in presenting an opportunity to imagine what life could be like without worrying about rent and disease. While players familiar with Forged-in-the-Dark mechanics will appreciate Future.Shock's new perspectives on the system, the game's strength lies in the questions it asks about finding meaning when who you are is not constrained by wealth, appearance, and geography, only by your mind, your friends, and an infinite amount of time to create. This review covers Future.Shock's first two books, the Become as God Setting Guide and the Quick Start booklet Metaphoric Blues. A free PDF key was provided by the author. Andine's vision of a transhuman society is explicitly not utopian, but refreshingly hopeful and interested in the kind of existence that constantly improves life for our fellow people. The grand design comprises a series of settlements spanning from Mercury to Neptune, connected by a super network/constitution of human rights called the Accord. Become as Gods details the pace of life in this future, explaining the history of the grand design from its inception as an experimental transport service to the sprawling, colorful web of communities that humanity now inhabits. The setting booklet fleshes this world out with enough detail and history that players will have a suite of tools to craft their own stories, but leaves enough blanks that I didn't feel like I was reading a sci-fi textbook. The most important aspect of Future.Shock is its use of sleeves, synthetic bodies which characters transfer their consciousness between. Aside from handy benefits like not needing to eat and being largely immortal, sleeves provide users the option to fork themselves between two separate bodies, essentially providing a way for a person to be in two places at once. In a setting so interested in who people are when separated from notions of physical presentation and the limits of an aging body, I think making sleeves such a central part of the world of Future.Shock was a wise choice, one that I urge players to take full advantage of. The system's primary mechanics are rooted in the same principles as any Forged-in-the-Dark game. Each character has 6 routines that determine what they can do in a given situation. These routines are assigned extra die based on a character's ego, and depending on what kind of character you're playing, determine how proficient you are at each routine. Where Future.Shock twists the Forged-in-the-Dark design is in its second layer of style, which is how you perform each action. You additionally have 6 style options to combine with your routines, giving you the option to perform the same task in a multitude of different manners. For example, if you get in a bar fight, you might strike at an angry patron with the Force style, but you might also strike with the Grace style, if you prefer elegance over impact. While the styles in which you live your life are determined by a character's static ego, the various sleeves they inhabit may change, changing the bonuses for each routine as well. The themes of Future.Shock are further underlined by the fact that, by default, characters act together, rolling their various actions together and pooling them to be used against the GM's troubles, whose difficulty are also determined by a number of pooled die. I definitely struggled understanding the mechanics of dice pooling at first, but Andine's Metaphoric Blues Quick Start includes flowcharts and neat graphics to illustrate examples of play. This Quick Start contains 4 playbooks with preset egos and special abilities, promising 2 more in future expansions. While Future.Shock has a lovely system of consequences for struggling to overcome a trouble, I want to highlight aspects of play that are mechanically rewarded. As this is an RPG, characters will level up after accumulating XP, granting additional die for contests, a new ability or facet of your ego, or an additional sleeve to plug your consciousness inside. XP is gained primarily by putting yourself in danger, uplifting someone worse off than you, and by challenging a powerful community. However, a less traditional method of rewards is provided by the game's reputation and fame systems. Reputation measures how well your team is liked by other communities in your orbit, and fame measures how recognizable you are across the entire grand design. Your reputation and fame will increase as you complete missions and spread your name throughout the stars, but my favorite aspect of these systems is an aspect called entitlement. As you gain more fame and fans, your followers will increasingly ask more and more of you. This can be something as innocuous as a shout-out to as drastic as starting a war. Even better, you'll gain XP for completing these demands, which both creates a mechanical incentive to keep pushing the envelope, but also guarantees narrative motion that could spin a game in wild new directions. There's absolutely an audience for games like Future.Shock. Specific touchstones include Friends at the Table, the Deus Ex games, Altered Carbon, and the cyberpunk genre generally. Are you looking for a sci-fi adventure without the baggage of clashing nations? Do you want to explore a person's interiority without having to worry about permanently dying because of a bad roll? Perhaps you'd just like to imagine what humanity could be like if we eliminated capital and prioritized art and connection. I think you'll find this game has a lot to offer. I recommend anyone interested in these themes and properties grab a copy of Future.Shock now, and look forward to the release of books 3 and 4 later in 2022.